Barbershop Podcast. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Barbershop Podcast. This is episode 91, coming to you live from Boxo Studio in Hamilton, Ontario, the source of the very best in music and musicians, and we bring them to you each and every Wednesday, don't we, Ryan Cannon? Isn't it a thrill and a treat each and every time?
It sure is. Each and every single one.
Cool. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I got to come up with a better response other than just agreeing what you say every single time.
Well,
I've noticed that I'm picking apart my own shit that I do on here now, and I know one of them is I just automatically agree with you with everything you say. Yeah, I know. I'm going to surprise you next week.
Okay.
All right.
Come up with a rampage and a rant of some sort.
It's
hard to be rampagey when you're in such good moods here.
Yeah.
You know? Everyone came in. It's a sticky August night. It's not that hot, but my goodness, you could swim down the road with just the moisture that's hanging in the air. So we've brought in our local intercontinental, or our North American, South American traveling musician. Great friend of the show, great local Hamilton musician to come in. He's got a brand new album. He's going to play some songs from the album, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he's doing, what he's got going on. Mr. Danny Medakovic is in the studio tonight. How you doing, Danny?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy that the show is rolling on, unstoppable, like some sort of ancient army.
Yeah, I'm totally impressed, blown away, and excited for you, because I'm one of those many people who tried in my own way to document what's going on in the local music scene. I got one interview done with Carolina Lovely now, as she's known, and then I saw Tom Shea started his 100-mile microphone, and then he kind of let that peter out. You're the only guy who's actually, kept going. So congrats.
I think the secret is you need, first, Ryan and I together on
That's
it. It's
true.
like you need your partner to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And if one person feels like not doing it, you need someone else who just shows up and says, well, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And being ignorant and stubborn.
Yeah,
that is really good. Because stubborn isn't even a word, but once I heard someone from the East Coast say stubborn instead of stubborn, I'm all over that. I prefer it now. Just like biscottis, when you have kids. And, you're a family man, right? As am I. It's coming through and being a songwriter, there's kind of a gentrification that happens through your whole process. When you were writing at a younger age, did you kind of grapple with the same serious subjects?
Yeah, I've always been writing about social issues in the environment, and I think my writing has just become maybe less pretentious, because when I was younger, I was full of fire and brimstone, and also felt like if my song didn't have 9 chords in it, it wasn't, original. And I kind of let all that go now, and I'm quite happy to fall back on old-time conventions and not worry so much about that kind of stuff.
Did you model yourself after anyone in particular at that early age? Who were your influences that you were learning the chord patterns and song styles from?
Well, I had such a weird mix of influences, and I still do, actually, that each song might be influenced by somebody different, radically different, right? So, as a teenager, I was really into, simultaneously, I was really into Ray Charles, Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, The Doors, and U2 were kind of like my 5 favorites. And I was probably at different times pulling from each of those. Oh, and Van Morrison, I forgot, of course, who was a big one too. And to this day, those are still some of the bigger influences, right? And yeah, it's kind of nice to see a lot of that stuff is coming back around again, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can keep quality down, forever. And eclectic taste will grow on someone, at any age. And standards and classics are just that. Your household, was it a musical household? We touched on a little bit about taking lessons early on, and quite often kids don't continue on with their lessons, but years later they still continue on to become musicians. They're just not necessarily cut out for the rigors of lessons. Were you structured when you were going? Yeah,
well, so the dedication in my artwork for my new Jolly Cut CD is dedicated to my dad, the man of a million radios, because in the family it's kind of a running joke that he literally had a radio everywhere. The kitchen was a radio, the living room was a radio. They'd all be going tuned to the same station. He'd go out to the workshop at the cottage, the radio would be on there. And, what do you buy him for Christmas and birthday? A new radio. And different sizes, different formats. But what I realized is I think my love of music, large part of it comes from having been surrounded by music all the time. You know, he was always the first one up, and so the radio was on. When I got up in the morning, the radio was on. All through the day and all through the evening, the radio was on. And then I shared my bedroom with my eldest brother, who was is an amazing guitarist, and he inspired me to get into playing music live. He played in a rock band called Renegade. They toured all over Canada. Their competition at that time was Glass Tiger. That was like the band that they were competing with for, you know, attention. And they did their own pyrotechnics. I remember they came and played my school gym in grade 8 and put a little bit too much flash powder in an empty paint tin, and it exploded and shot the remaining paint all over the
ruined it for everyone
gym.
else. It probably got banned after that.
Yeah,
but it was certainly mightily impressive at that young age. The die was cast at that point. Even though you had many skills and you were scholastically an intelligent lad, as with the future you were going to be a musician.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Neat thing when Ryan and I got together when we played in our first band together. He was an engineer, and it was right at that period where digital recording was becoming available to the masses. You've always been involved in computers and in music. Were you someone who began your producers wearing your producer's hat at that period when they met, or were you involved in the analog production?
Yeah, no, I started in analog. I dropped out of university partway through second year, was going to school for film, and I was bored and basically just partying a lot and not very motivated. So mostly not very motivated because I'd actually been making films for 4 years and got to university and they told me I wasn't allowed to touch a camera until third year.
Don't
so
you
I was
love
like,
that?
How many essays can I write on this same fucking movie? So so I went back to Mississauga, and my brother had opened up a recording studio with a friend of his, and they offered me a job as an assistant engineer. So it was like, you know, baptism of fire. I got, you know, I think a one-day orientation of how all the gear worked. It was a 2-inch Studer 24-track and Soundcraft board, and next thing you know, they told me I was doing the night sessions. So I was the guy in there from, you know, midnight till 7 a.m. and just literally flying by the seat of my pants. But the clients all loved it, and I learned a lot. And so then my first setup of my own was I still have it. It's a 1/4-inch Fostex 8-track reel-to-reel. And eventually I got into Cubase as my first digital platform. But yeah, I'm not one of these purists though. Like, I don't care, digital, analog, whatever. I find digital way more convenient and much easier, especially for editing, because I just love editing on a computer. But you know, whether it sounds stellar or, you know, pristine, or whether it sounds pretty good, for me it's always been about the song, because I believe most people's brains filter past the audio quality within the first 5 seconds if it's a good song. Yeah, forget that there's so many of those great songs were recorded on what was very simple gear, simple microphones in one room. And they're still great. Nobody listens to those and says, wow, I wish they had Pro Tools back then. You know, wow, would have made a huge difference. Wouldn't have made any difference. Yeah. In fact, it would have been worse. Back then, everybody went in the studio and nailed everything in a couple takes, and now sometimes you build the song in the computer, which is not the way to do it. Not the way to do it, and we're finding that out here. You know, we love what the computer can do, but there's a commitment level when you're dealing with analog. You don't have a million takes, so you set the board, you agree on it. That's the take. Yeah. That's the cut, and you do it. You seem to be quite a prolific songwriter. You're certainly willing to share your music as you're writing it and creating it. So I don't know if it gives the impression that you write a lot, or at least you seem to be able to take the songwriting process to fruition. It's the same song. I just changed the title on YouTube. I was wondering about that. Shirt. Nobody listens to it, so it's just like, yeah. No, it's... was there a question there? Yeah. No, forget it. I've forgotten it now, too. No, I mean, I do write a lot, and I'm not one of those people who is very precious about their music. I don't mind. In fact, I rather enjoy writing it, capturing it right away, even though I know it's going to change. I may change lyrics. I may change the structure of the song, but I just like to get it out there. And it's also a great archive for me because I write so much, I actually forget my songs. There's many songs that I discover on YouTube of my own that I forgot I wrote. Nice. And sometimes I actually have to go back and watch my videos to relearn something that I may have played that one time when I posted it and never played it again. So it's a good tool for me that way too.
Well, you've got a new record coming out. It's called Jolly Cut. Looking forward to that CD release party. Do you have the date?
I don't have a date or a venue. It's going to be in October. Stay tuned. JollyCut.com or find me on Facebook.
Or here at Barbershop Podcast. I'm sure you'll send us a notice when that time
definitely.
is due. But in the meantime, coming up, we've got a show at the Corktown Tavern on the 29th of August with Tiny Bill Cody, Mimi Shaw, and Mr. Steve Siddix. So that'll be a great bunch of songwriters in a great venue. Love the Corktown. Mm-hmm. So they can catch a little taste of what you're doing now. Tell me about the process and what you wanted to do with Jolly Cut.
Well, it had been 12 years since my last CD release. I took a break for a lot of years focusing on raising money for homeless shelters when I was chairing Design Hope, raising money for Hamilton Out of the Cold. And one of the projects I took on in that role was putting together these Design Hope Songwriter Series CDs, which were not really compilations. They were actually collaborations, much exactly like you're doing now, which is inviting songwriters to contribute a brand new song to a theme to raise awareness and funds for the homeless shelters. And that was frankly way more rewarding than going back and working on my own stuff. Finally, about 6 or 7 years ago, I started a new album. Actually got it about 90% done. And my hard drive crashed and my backup drive crashed. I lost my backup and my main audio.
And what are the chances of that happening?
I don't know.
Not very high.
And I never back stuff up. I actually backed that up this time. I just kind of gave up on that because I was so excited about all the new stuff I was writing. And it's like, it might be like this for you, but it certainly is probably for a lot of songwriters, but you're always most excited by your last song. Yeah. Your last song in your mind is always the best one for whatever reason. And so it's been like that for me. I've just been always really excited about what I'm working on now. And the recording process takes so long that, we talked about this online over Facebook today. Just, it's easy to get lost in the process and not even know if what you're doing is worth completing. Yeah. But the part where you get through it, it's just like, what the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah, you're plicking that last couple eyebrows for the day and a half while everyone's waiting downstairs tapping their foot, and you're obsessing on the smallest things that may or may not have anything to do with the.
As my wife would say, nobody will notice all those little tweaks, but I'm totally convinced they will.
Right after you told me, after the first 5 seconds, people tend to forgive the sonic imperfections and get into the body of the song. Well, we're gonna play a good chunk of the new CD tonight. You get to hear it right here at BarbershopPodcast.com. Yeah, brought to you by our good friends at hamiltonartists.ca. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, hamiltonartists.ca. They are where music and art collide. They're right there at the Delta at 1141 Main Street East at Balmoral, right by the bright spot. And it certainly is a bright spot. They put anything on anything. They specialize in promotional material for artists, performers, musicians. They do event promotion. They do custom apparel. They do custom promotions. They do banners, shirts, mugs, mouse pads, buttons, stickers, you name it, more. It's all part of the business. They're good friends with us, and you should go see them, hamiltonartists.ca. Danny Medakovic is our guest tonight, and he's got a brand new album, and it's called Jolly Cut. The first thing we're going to hear it off tonight is The Hardest Part. You want to tell us something about this song?
Yeah, sure. So this song is about how poor, here as I stumble here, what a poor job most men do at communicating in relationships. And I don't mean to generalize. I'm sure lots of women have that issue as well. I just know that in my own relationship, I've learned a lot with my wife Cheryl over the last 20 plus years of being together about initiating conversations when there are issues that are kind of building up and all that stuff. I'm terrible at that. I'm getting way better. So the hardest part is, the lyric is, the hardest part is knowing where to start. And it's about a relationship, and it's about the guy being stuck and missing that opportunity over and over again. And finally, she drifts away and he realizes he never got started when he should have.
Another sweet life lesson in music right here at BarbershopPodcast.com.
hardest part is knowing where to start. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. Friends say it'll get easier each day, but that's not the way it's happening for me. The days go by, still I wonder why we go on pretending to be free. Maybe I'm the bigger fool, but now I'm wondering what to do. The hardest part is knowing where to start. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. The hardest part is knowing where to start. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. Time flies, but not for me. I'm stuck here at the moment I last saw you. Tears flowed like 100 falling stars. How I wish I'd reached out and touched you. The hardest part is knowing where to start. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. The hardest part is knowing where to start. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. I'm stuck here at the hardest part. Well, I'm stuck here at the hardest
part. And that's Danny Medakovic. The hardest part from his new CD, Jolly Cut, which is a transitional bit of engineering here in Hamilton, Ontario. There's a 450-foot rough escarpment. We call it the mountain here in Hamilton. It's the shores of an ancient glacial lake, and it divides the city between the people who do live on the escarpment and the people who
go to live music
and
shows.
the people who go to live music shows. Yeah. And that's us right here under the shadow of the escarpment or the mountain here in Hamilton, Ontario, the city. And the Jolly Cut is one of the accesses, they refer to it, to get from there to here and vice versa. Tell me about naming the CD, if it was just something that caught your attention because of the wordplay involved, or...
yeah, I mean, the lyric made it in because of the wordplay, and I was actually going to call the CD Taco Star after another song, and it was my wife who said, you got to call it Jolly Cut. So... I think she was right. I think it's a more intriguing and playful kind of name for the album. So.
And it certainly gives it a Hamilton mark of approval on there, a badge.
That's true.
You're immersed in the music scene here. You play with Frytruck, a group that we've had on the show, play around town with a bunch of really talented players. Mr. Mike Treblecock was singing background on the song that we just heard. Can you speak to the musical community here in Hamilton and really what we've got and what a lot of people don't realize what we've got?
Yeah. You know, I've always thought of Hamilton since I came here as sort of the world's largest small town, because it's small enough that you can access pretty much everything and everybody. It's maybe 2 degrees of separation here between any two people, but it's large enough that we have a really diverse and large number of amazing artists, and not just musicians, but visual artists, photographers, everything. When I first came here, like most people, it was a bit difficult trying to figure out how to connect. So I started playing at the folk club, in the folk club scene, and that introduced me to a lot of the singer-songwriters. Doing that Design Hope project directly connected me with some really fine talent, and it's just sort of grown from there. Knowing people like Lou and hanging out at This Ain't Hollywood, and getting to know people from other musical genres, the punk scene, and we have it all in Hamilton. Great hip hop, great punk rock, great metal, great folk, great singer-songwriters, bluegrass. There's so much music that I'm always surprised when there's some new band that comes along. I think, why haven't I heard of these guys? But you can't keep track. There's so much amazing music coming out of this town, and I think it's definitely one of our biggest assets, and we just need to know how to turn it into kind of, you know, a scene that draws other people to the city. We should be the Austin of the North.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. I've for the longest time seen a product and I've seen a market. I've seen a product, I've seen a market, and the tides shift rapidly, and it's a different world. But this has been the ambitious city, and it has pulled up its bootstraps in so many times.
Yeah.
And this is just a change where our old way of primary industry is gone by the wayside, but we still make stuff here.
Yeah.
We make great music.
Sure.
We make great art.
Yeah.
And
the other thing I think is I don't know if this is unique to Hamilton, but from what I've been told by people who've moved here from Toronto, musicians who've moved here from Toronto, the scene here is very collaborative and very supportive, whereas it's very competitive in Toronto. That could be that you have exponentially, you know, so many more musicians fighting to play in still a relatively small number of key venues, right? Here you got people like Laurie Yates running her songwriter workshops, and all the musicians who donate their time to support those people and come out to the shows. And I'm trying to do the same thing with the monthly open mic nights in Dundas. It's an all ages night, so we get probably half the people come out are teenagers, and they come back and we're trying to make sure they feel very welcome and that they can play covers, they can do whatever they want, doesn't matter what their skill level is. And we need to do that, right? You know, one day we'll be old farts too tired to pick up our guitars.
they're going
right?
to carry it for us over to the van.
Yeah.
On the way back to the home.
And that's what I love about this city, and I hope to see more of that, right? Is let's work together, right? Because nobody's making any money anyway. So what the hell? It's not like we're competing for the vast fortune that's out there. May as well help each other out.
Absolutely, well put, Dan. Let's play the title track off the CD, Jolly Cut.
Awesome.
Okay. Self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory. It's just a fun little story, another breakup story, and I don't know if there's anything special about this song, but maybe I could just mention who played on the album.
Yeah.
So on bass on most of the tracks is Carrie Ashworth, although on this song I played it because I ended up changing the key at the last second and had to retrack every single track except for drums. Although my drummer was upset because he tuned his drums to B flat apparently, and I changed the song to C. Chris Altman plays pedal steel on about half the tracks. Amazing guy who moved here from Australia maybe a year and a half ago. Marshall Bureau, who's plays with Barzin and a number of touring acts. I recorded with him on that album that I lost about 6 or 7 years ago, so it was a pleasure to work with Marshall, who I recorded and produced when he was in a Northern Chorus many years ago. And that's it for now. I'll mention some of the horn players and other people when we get to the tracks. Oh, sorry, on this song, Ben Bowen, who jammed with me at an open mic on this tune, did such a great job that I invited him in at the last minute, and he threw a really great trumpet track on here. So yeah.
Great, fantastic, something fresh, something new, something beautiful, just for you, right here from barbershoppodcast.com. Jolly Cut from Danny Medakovic.
Side of town, you're 15 floors above me now, but I'm much further down now. I see you every morning, changing buses at the square. If I could change one thing, confession painted on the JOLLEY CUT. It says I love you more than a lot. Miss your nasty letters, the list all my faults. 27 pages. I think you got them all. I keep your little poems in an old shoebox. I read them when I need them, and my heart unlocks. Have you seen my confession? Painted on the jolly cut. It says I love you more than a lot. Jolly cut, jolly cut, jolly cut. Do you get it? Jolly cut, jolly cut, jolly cut. Do you get it? Jolly cut, jolly cut, jolly cut. Do you get it?
And that's Jolly Cut from Danny Medakovic and his new CD of the same name to be released soon. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for the announcement for the CD release party, which is going to be happening soon. Boxo Studio, your home for excellent soul-saving recordings. If you're looking for a recording, get a hold of us here at Boxo Studio. We do great stuff. Ryan Cannon Video, if you need a video shot, he does that too. Want to bring to your attention a couple of wonderful opportunities in the name of ducats or tickets from our friend Glenn Brown at Greater Hamilton Musician Magazine, and Mr. John Paul Gauthier, who puts on a wonderful event at Christie Lake, the Greenbelt Harvest Picnic. A great cast of musicians who are playing there, front and main stage, nonstop music all day long. And this is at the forefront of music as an agent of change, music that gets the message across, something that is important to all of us as human beings, and using music as the vehicle to do that. We want to make this available to you. Last week we had about 12 people who messaged us on our Facebook page, said, I love Barbershop Podcast, I want the tickets. Their name is going into the pick bin. This is the last chance for you to do the same thing. Like it, share it, and that's the page, the Barbershop Podcast Facebook page. And while you're at it, go to YouTube, follow us on Twitter, just Google us, and do your best to spread the word. This is real, honest-to-goodness music, and we've got it in spades here in Hamilton. Greenbelt Harvest Picnic, and that's happening on Saturday, the 23rd of August, this Saturday coming up. So this is your chance to get in. That's a great prize.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one. Let's talk about that a little bit. Music as an agent of change. Was there a point where you said, this is the only kind of music I want to write? It's going to affect me. It can be something from a personal story from my heart, discussing my emotions. And as you were saying about sometimes it's really difficult for men to communicate. Sometimes in song, it's easier to get that done.
Yeah.
Has that always been a way for you to communicate?
You know what? I think I've written one song that I would say I wrote on a whim and kind of as a joke, which is like a French pop song I wrote after visiting France and hearing what was popular on the radio there. And it's a fun song to play, but I've never ever been motivated to write anything that didn't affect me as I was writing it. and that I didn't think would affect other people. And that's not a choice. That's just what comes out of me. I kind of envious of people who write really awesome pop songs, and I just don't do it. The best I can hope for is that my highly emotional songs are catchy enough that that even if you don't listen to the lyrics, you might still like the tune.
You got to move a couple bums in the process, right?
And that's a lesson I've learned over a long period of time, right? I used to say when I was young, I wrote for me. To fuck it, if anybody liked the song, I don't give a shit. Now I actually want people to like the song. I'm still writing for me lyrically, but musically, I'm filtering, through. I want the songs to be immediately accessible, and if I play them live, I want it, to be enjoyable, right?
It's important to have that blend, because I find myself falling in the category where you look at it as a very clinical fashion and you dissect the song, but it all stems for me from a very emotional connection. I realize I like it, then I want to know why I like it. And sometimes we're our own harshest critics, and it's hard to pull those things out of it. And again, that's why it's great to have these jam sessions or these open stages or these collaborative moments where you can play with other people who smack you on the back and say, my God, that's great. And quite often it's something that you're kind of half in love with or ready to cast off. Always, we're much more powerful together. Live music is what we do here. We're featuring a good chunk of music from your CD, but I did insist that you play a couple live, and you have been gracious enough to do so. You're going to play a couple for us. The first one, Turning of the Wheel.
That's right. So, yeah, I thought I'd just keep with the theme of the show and play a couple live songs that are from the CD. And for those who end up picking up the CD, the song turned out just really great. It's a really huge, powerful chorus with Mary Simon and Mike Trebilcock singing together. It kind of goes from country to soul almost partway through. I will do my best on my own.
Well, you get to hear it right here at barbershoppodcast.com.
The days are running into one. Soon the moon will blend into the sun. Used to be we'd stroll along the stream, but that was just a dream. See it in the line, set in the face, passing the baton in this great race. As soon as we are old enough to run, triggered by the silent starting gun. You can't ride it, or you can let it knock you down. No matter what you choose, the wheel still rolls on. Ooh, the turning of the wheel. Ooh, the turning of the wheel. Oh, the turning of the wheel. Turning of the wheel. All the souls that crowd around this ball, rolling like a marble down the hall. It seems like we are spinning out of control. Well, that's just the way she rolls. Well, I think it's time we all just stop, take a look around what we got. Maybe take some time on a patch of grass, and remember all things must pass. You can ride it, or you can let it knock you down. No matter what you choose, the wheel still rolls on. Turning of the wheel. Ooh, the turning of the wheel. Oh, the turning of the wheel. Ooh, the turning
live in studio. That's Danny Medakovic with Turning of the Wheel from his new album, Jolly Cut, available soon, but you get a taste, a sweet taste of it right here at barbershoppodcast.com each and every week. Coming live to you on Twitch TV every Wednesday night around 8 o'clock. We do our best, but live TV, well, it's live TV. It's kind of 1955 vibe to it. We do it where it's the Wild West and we're cowboys here. There's no template. We're doing it our own way and doing it the way we feel is best, and absolutely enjoy being inspired each and every week with an original performer, an artist who brings in their work, their story, their passion, and shares it with us here and with you. So I implore you once again, throw the page up on your Facebook page, email your friends, let them know next time you're talking about live music, Barbershop Podcast. You can check out a lot of great original artists, find out their stories, listen to their music, and maybe make a new favorite band. Jolly Cut is the new record from Danny Medakovic. The process, because you're kind of running the show, are you getting slicker at it, or do you still find that as the technology increases, the potential for frustrations increase because you want to achieve something else?
I tell you, computers, man.
Just when you think you've got it figured out.
Always, yeah. Halfway through this project, I had to reinstall Mac OS X about 8 times and reinstall Pro Tools about 5 times just so I could continue recording. It was progressively getting worse as I was going on, and system crashing, all that stuff. So I love technology. It's what's been my day job for 22 years, and I love when it works. But yeah, boy, it's not very dependable and a bit of a pain in the ass. But in terms of the actual recording process, I think I'm just faster. You do it for so many years now. I can motor through a tune pretty fast, and the only thing that changes, I'm a little fussier now.
Yeah, 12 years is a long time in between records, and you must have had a number of songs. Was it a conscious decision to say, I want to write specifically at this point now for this record, or did you go through some of the songs that you've had for a while? So these are all newer songs. I intentionally wanted to record ones that I was excited about still. The only exception is there's a song on here called Ode to Bob, which you won't hear tonight because I still have to finish the background vocals this week. But it's one of the ones I finally managed about a year ago to recover off that hard drive that crashed. And so a lot of those songs I managed to recover may resurface as a lost song CD or something like that. And then I don't know what I'm going to do about the dozens of tunes I've written in the last 12 years that I may or may not ever record. I don't know. They're all up on YouTube, most of them. It'd be kind of fun to produce them properly and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm always going to be most excited about whatever I'm writing, this week. So. Well, here's another new one that Danny and we're still excited about. We get to hear it, and you get to hear it. This isn't even released yet, and Barbershop Podcast is bringing it to you from his new record, album, CD. Body of work, Jolly Cut, Danny Medakovic. This is a little something called Little Things, Big Lie. Barbershop Podcast.
When you pulled out all the excuses, uncovered all the layers of shame, kind words are long lost, and you can only find words of blame. Well, it's not over, love has not left town, we just buried our hearts so far down. You gotta dig deep, and you will find it's much better to be kind. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things, and the big love soon will follow. We were wrong Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. And the big love soon will follow. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. And the big love soon will follow. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. Let's work on them little things. And the big love will follow.
Little Things, Big Lie. That's Denny Medakovic from his new record, Jolly Cut. And you're hearing it here at Barbershop Podcast, bringing you the very best of Hamilton music and musicians each and every week. And it's forever on the interweb. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on our website, which is, as I have mentioned, barbershoppodcast.com. Mentioned early on when we started a very humid night, and I was going to segue nicely. It's a bit clumsy now into the fact that you've been spending some time in Central America and Guatemala, in particular, Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Sorry. So tell me about the how that started and how that's impacted your musical career.
Well, how it started was back around 2000. I met a film location scout who was telling me he had land in Costa Rica, which I may have heard of, but I didn't know anything about as a country. The way he described it was really intriguing. So I did a bunch of research and found out, they disbanded their army in the early 1950s. They've replanted reforested a whole ton of the country, and I think they have the highest percentage of protected land in any maybe amongst the world, but certainly in any Central American country. Highest literacy rates. They have their challenges as a developing nation, but so many great things. 99%, I think, of the energy is from clean energy sources, and you can drink the water there, which is rare, and just very gentle, great people. So my wife and I had made the decision that we were going to sell our house and move down there, but when our kids heard about that, they freaked out. So this was going back a few years. We decided, okay, maybe we're being a little hasty. So we went down, decided to just live there for 6 months, and the kids went to school there, and we've been back a number of times, and we'll continue to go back probably a couple times a year, and when we eventually retire, probably spend a lot more time there. But I've always been into world music, as I might have mentioned, in your previous show, and I was involved in helping with the Hamilton World Music Festival this year. Being down there and being surrounded by not just different forms of Latin music, but obviously reggae and other beachy kind of stuff. Being surrounded by that for 6 months and being surrounded by surfers and the visual imagery, the monkeys and the surfboards and the ocean waves, and you can't not start to get into that vibe. And I think one of the songs that we're playing tonight is specifically about a little taco shack on the beach there called Taco Star, and so just all the images that I was soaking up every day kind of thrown into that one song. But it keeps coming back. There's a couple songs on the album that are influenced by my experience down there. Another one called Gringo in Paradise, and kind of a Latin vibe and sound to it. And I'm having fun with it. That's the main thing. It's just so fun to be able to explore those things, Yeah,
life is music, imitates art.
Yeah.
We all get to be a part of it. We all get to share in it, and that's one of the great things about music. Is it's like smelling grandma's kitchen when it comes out of the speakers.
Yeah, actually, last time I was down there. So one of the times I was down there, I like to pick up hitchhikers when I'm driving by myself. It's a great way to practice Spanish because most of them don't speak English. One of the guys I picked up actually spoke perfect English, was a Costa Rican from San Jose who played in a band, and he had a cassette tape on him of his band Mumble Riot. And we threw it in our old truck, and we spent 45 minutes staring at the ocean listening to his band. And we became friends ever since. So when I was down a couple weeks ago, he opened for me, and then we ended up jamming together all night long. And one of the local guys got up on drums, drums, and it's that whole thing about, you know, just music is its own language, right? The guy on drums, whether he spoke English or not, didn't matter. You're signaling with your guitar. Everybody knows what the grooves are, and that to me is like, I get such a buzz from that, you know, to know you could go anywhere in the world and just start jamming.
Yeah, right at that level.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we're enjoying the heck out of your new record, Jolly Cut. We're going to play another tune from it, Rewind.
That's one self-explanatory.
There we go.
I'm talking too much anyway.
I love it. Right here at barbershoppodcast.com.
It's been 3 days since you've been gone. Still got the same pot of coffee on, and I'm still wearing the same dirty clothes. Just when you'll be back, God only knows. I'd reply, you're just moving too fast. Whenever you'd make plans, well, my eyes would blaze. If things were clear to you, well, it was just a big maze to me.
And that is Rewind from Danny Medakovic off his new CD, Jolly Cut, available anytime now. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. Jollycut.com or ca.com?
Yeah. Spelled the right way. JOLLEY. Yeah.
CUT.com. Or follow us here on Barbershop Podcast. We are going to give you all the links to Danny's links. So you can find out what he's doing, where he's playing, what's going on. And once again, we're going to mention that he is going to be playing Friday, the 29th of August at Corktown Tavern with Steve Sinnix, Mimi Shaw, and Tiny Bill Cody. Those are four great singer-songwriters. If you like this kind of music, this is a show you're going to want to go to. Corktown is a great venue. Barbershop Podcast is the place we're bringing you live music each and every week. We're going to serve up another little dose of it right now. Danny's going to play something for us. I take it it's a bit of a political song.
This is
a little something called Stripes and Stars.
Yeah, this one is most lyrically. I'm normally writing stories. This one is actually more of a stream of consciousness. Just putting together a lot of shit that was going on a couple years ago when I wrote this tune. There was, the Gulf of Mexico was on fire with a underwater.
BP oil rig.
Yeah, broken, and the rise of China and kind of the looming, obscure threat of what that means. The fact that they basically own the United States and have enough soldiers that they could just take over any country they want, and what's happening with the environment, what's happening in countries all over the world right now.
Yeah.
So I just was kind of rolling all that up, and I'm not a big fan, let's say, of U.S. foreign policy, and that's where the Stripes and Stars comes from in this tune.
All right, let's hear it.
Don't talk to me in subliminal messages. All your wishes are hostages set free by your own demands. Don't speak to me of the flags of our fathers. Don't even bother waving a hand. There's a boy in a red hat. He tells me where it's at, though he speaks to me in tongues. His spit fills up my lungs. I had a dream of stripes and stars, but the stripes were metal bars, and the stars were big explosions high above a burning ocean. The desert sands grow a little each day. Yeah, they're coming our way. It's just a matter of time. This hourglass we call an atmosphere. It's just a thin veneer, and it's wearing away. There's a boy in a red hat. He tells me where it's at, though he speaks to me in tongues. His spit fills up my lungs. I had a dream of stripes and stars, but the stripes were metal bars, and the stars were big explosions high above the burning ocean. There's a boy in a red hat. He tells me where it's at, though he speaks to me in tongues. His spit fills up my lungs. I had a dream of stripes and stars, but the stripes were metal bars, and the stars were big explosions high above a burning ocean. A burning ocean. Burning ocean, burning ocean.
Stripes and Stars from Daddy Medakovic. You'll find that on his new CD, soon to be released, Jolly Cut. And he's right here at Barbershop Podcast in Hamilton, Ontario. I'm going to throw up these tickets one more time. This is your last chance to get on Barbershop Podcast Facebook page. Like it, share it. Send us a little note saying, we love you, we want the tickets. Everyone's going to get thrown in the bin, and we're going to pick a winner. And you will be notified, and you will have yourself a choice pair of tickets. I also want to give another shout out to our sponsor and our good friends at hamiltonartists.ca. hamiltonartists.ca. well, they're where music and art collide. You're going to want, if you're a band, a musician, someone who's doing an artistic endeavor, you're going to want to promote yourself. You're going to want to promote your ideas. And hamiltonartists.ca will put anything on anything. If you're looking for t-shirts, mugs, promotional material, if you're an artist or performer, we're talking event promotion, we're talking custom apparel. If you have an idea, they will make you something. They've got custom clothes, gear that they can put together there. If you have a concept and an idea for promotion, they will work with you. Banners, shirts, mugs, so much more. 1141 Main Street East in Hamilton, right at the Delta. That's right across from the No Frills, right beside the Bright Spot, and that's at Balmoral in Hamilton, Ontario. The Jolly Cut Jolley Cut, Jolley Cut, is a Hamilton record through and through. Written, performed, and produced with a great bunch of characters, but it is Danny Medakovic's baby. Song we're going to get to now, you touched on, Taco Star. Something about a little taco hut down in Costa Rica where you were spending your time.
Yep.
We're just going to hear it.
We're just going to hear it.
Here we go. BarbershopPodcast.com.
Maria with the pink surfboard, a little white dog with a spiked collar on. And you can tell the tide by the speed of her stride, the rhythm of her flip-flops spanking on the ground. She's being followed by Miguel on his trike, selling cold coconuts that he opens with the knife. The way he circles around her and the way his words flounder, you know that he's been following her most of his life. Down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas to the sound of old reggae while the surf wax melts up on the shelf. A dusty old picture of a young hippie couple with machetes in their belts. And down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas. Down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas. Out on the beach, there's a faded umbrella, shading an old couple with their eyes on the sea. He peels a mango and says, look at them kids go. She said, that used to be you and me. Yeah. Down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas to the sound of old reggae while the surf wax melts up on the shelf. A dusty old picture of a young hippie couple with machetes in their belts. And down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas. Down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas. After the rain, the crabs fill the street. They crunch under your wheels and you better watch your feet. Well, down here we're still ruled by Mother Nature. If you do come around, you may be more lost than found. And down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas to the sound of old reggae while the surf wax melts up on the shelf. A dusty old picture of a young hippie couple with machetes in their belts. And down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas. Down at Taco Star, they drink cervezas.
Taco Star from Danny Medakovic. Jolly Cut, his new CD, to be released very shortly, but we've got a sneak preview here at barbershoppodcast.com. Very best in Hamilton music and musicians each and every week, coming to you live from Boxo Studio on Twitch TV. Look for us, hook up with us, and join us each and every week. Share us with your friends. Lots of love to go around. Good original music. It's good for the soul. It's good for the economy. Get out there, boost the economy, and move your butt. Take your girlfriend out. She'll think you're a cultured individual dude if you take her out. And don't just take her to a movie. Take her to a club, and she'll think you're just a little bit cool and a little bit dangerous. And
sure. And tell the band, bands love it when you say, "Hey, I brought my date out here to check out you guys."
Yeah, it's like, do it.
Yeah, although they might steal her away. There's always
that always happens, but it makes it fun at the end of the night, especially with the Benny Hill music going. As
exactly.
The chasing going on. We're about to wrap it up, but you've put together a beautiful record, Danny.
Thank you.
The last song, Taco Star, harks to your time in Costa Rica and the vibe that you were feeling and the creativity that it inspired. And I imagine this last one, Gringo in Paradise, is probably much similar.
Yeah, so that last one was more in the Jack Johnson kind of vibe, maybe with a few vintage 50s kind of touches with Aaron Zukowicz on the organ and sax there. This one has more of a Latin feel, both from the percussion and the guitar style. And this one just kind of grew organically in the studio. I didn't really know where we were going with it. It was a very new song. And Mike Treblecock said, let's do some kind of cheesy 60s kind of loungy background vocals on there, and that really contributed a lot. And then Jay Bird was in tracking horns for Little Things Big Love, and I said, hey, while you're here, why don't you try track on here? And then when Ben Bowen came in to play on Jolly Cut, I said, Ben, why don't you come and try play a little trumpet part in this? So this was probably the most kind of spontaneously produced song. I didn't have a clear vision of where it was going, and it works. Just that this song is about slowly getting drunk on rum, falling in love with that beautiful waitress under a palm tree, and it's just a kind of great summer song. Is the way.
Beautiful little Frankenstein monster. That's how you put together a song.
Exactly.
Right here from barbershoppodcast.com, Gringo in Paradise from Danny Medakovic.
Well, the breeze is blowing and the palm trees are swaying like flamenco dancers. They're quietly saying, show me that you love me, show me. And if you wait long enough, you might get a coconut, and that might be good and that might be bad, 'cause it might land on your head or in your hand, so you better be sure on where you stand. Show me that you love me, show me that you need me, show me that you love me, show me. glass and salt on the rim. There's lime in the glass and salt on the rim. And I don't even know what language I'm drinking in. Show me that you love me. Show me that you need me. Show me that you love me. Show me that you need me. Amuéstrame, que me amas, amuéstrame, que me necesitas, amuéstrame, que me amas, amuéstrame.
And that's Gringo in Paradise. Great song from Danny Medakovic. You'll find that on his new CD, Jolly Cut. It's going to be available very shortly. You'll be able to find that online at jollycut.com or through Danny's website. He is going to have a CD release party, and you will be made aware of that. It's a show that you certainly should be looking to go out to. In the meantime, you can catch him at the Corktown Tavern Friday, August 29th on a bill with Mimi Shaw, Tiny Bill Cody, and Steve Sinix, 4 great singer-songwriters from Hamilton. You want to come out to that one. It's going to be a great one. The CD is a great one, another great document. Another great chapter in original Hamilton music. Represented yourself and us very well. I want to thank you so much for coming in and sharing it.
Thanks. Always tonight. A pleasure to be here. And thank you for doing the show.
Okay, you know, you can't drag me away. You couldn't if you tried. It's because I'm stuck in this chair. But it's been a great night. It's been a great week. It's been a great 92 weeks, 91 weeks, somewhere like that. We're kicking it. We're going to kick it each and every week. Thanks for coming out, everyone. Tell all your friends. Barbershop Podcast for Ryan, Gary, and Alex. Take care.